He was a good powder, but they were able to get that hook. Romero get him right at that time.
It's the taxes. He got taxes problem. It's the taxes that's killing him. So he trying to cash out. He was trying to fight, the world champ, the IBF world champ. I ain't gonna mention his name.
Sean haven't even done nothing.
So what do you say to those who say that you might be afraid? So what do you say to those who might be saying that, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what?
Denys Davis and Gervonta "Tank" Davis both have fights scheduled just 2 weeks apart. Yet instead of focusing on their upcoming opponents, they've been calling each other out. Both fighters are eager to prove who the greater Davis is. Just this month, in the light heavyweight division, we saw David Benavidez claim the title of the greater David, defeating David Morrell. Now, it's time for these two Davis fighters to settle the same question. This will lead to a fight. What really happened is that Keyshawn Davis called out Gervonta "Tank" Davis on the day of his press conference. Then, the very next day, just after his weigh-in, Tank Davis hit back in the strongest way possible. It's been a tough time for Keyshawn, who claimed he faced racist attacks during fight week. As if that wasn't enough, he was also pushed by his opponent during their face-off. For Tank, this is the perfect reminder for Keyshawn to never mention his name again.
Or they both respect it. And then you have to. Romero thinks he can hurt him.
He tried to fight the IBF world champ. That he had to realize that's not a big enough fight, and he probably lose that jump. So now he trying to come this way.
A few months ago, Keyshawn called out Tank, and Tank responded on social media, saying that the challenger wasn't even worth mentioning. He told him to stop trying to gain attention and that he was just clout chasing. Tank also called him a clown and an idiot, saying that the fighter wasn't doing anything interesting. Interestingly, this time, Gervonta Davis didn't back down from his position. He stayed firm in his response. Even Cayenne had a harsh approach to the situation, making sure his thoughts were clear and direct.
Because he's going after him now.
That I'm seeing is that he's taking 2 steps back, making it different.
What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing.
You don't think he's better than any of the guys you face?
Looking more better than him. Who that? Keyshawn.
In an interview with Cigar Talk, Keyshawn Davis shared his thoughts on Tank Davis and his team. He believes they are hesitant to take on the challenge. It's up to Tank, Keyshawn said. If he wants to see it, send me a contract and I'll sign it. Besides the potential money, I'll bring the same energy he's bringing. He can't pull the tricks he's used with other fighters on me. I'm ready for that. His coach, the bald-headed guy, told me to stop calling Tank out for the rest of the year. They're clearly worried. They want me to move up to 140, so I'm too big to fight them. But I'm staying at 135. I'll be here until Tank fights me.
Way more better than this nigga.
So you would rather
keep screaming this nigga name? He haven't done nothing.
You rather fight
Keyshawn? Haven't even done nothing.
So what do you say to those who say that you might be afraid? So what do you say to those who might be saying that,
Keyshawn Davis is gearing up for his first world title fight on Friday against Denys Berinchyk. But that hasn't stopped him from eyeing one of the biggest names in boxing. During an interview with Fight Hub TV, Keyshawn spoke about the possibility of facing Tank Davis. While fans are eager to see the match, Keyshawn doesn't expect Tank to offer him a fight. I would love to fight Tank, Keyshawn said, adding, but I don't think he has the guts to fight me. I just don't think he's ready to sign a contract and face me in the ring.
Romero lands a hard left hand and pushes Tank down.
Davis,
you're afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what? Afraid of what? Us fighters, if we're afraid of somebody, it gotta be somebody hitting us and hurt us. Like, he don't have no offense.
Keyshawn, who earned an Olympic silver medal in 2021, has quickly made his way up the ranks and is now preparing to fight for a world title in just his 13th professional match. With a victory, Keyshawn could become one of the top title holders in the lightweight division, joining the ranks of Vasyl Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, and Tank Davis. Any matchup between these 4 fighters would be a thrilling contest, but Keyshawn believes that his fight against Tank could stand out as the best of them all. Despite the potential magnitude of that fight, Keyshawn made it clear that he won't be chasing a bout with Tank.
Everything is defense. Defense only winning basketball and football.
Instead of following the traditional route, Keane plans to carve his own path and see where it takes him. He compared his situation to that of Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez, saying that while both are top fighters, one is waiting for the other to show interest in a potential fight. I'm just waiting for you to send me a contract, bro, Keane said. I feel like making a fight between me and him would be easy because everyone knows who the top guy is. Everybody knows exactly what's going on when it comes down to me and him. As far as making the fight, it's actually pretty straightforward, and promoting it would be easy. Keyshawn is set to face Berinchyk in a showdown of undefeated fighters on Friday at Madison Square Garden for the WBO lightweight title. At his pre-fight press conference, the Norfolk native Keyshawn Davis spoke confidently about what he expects to hear when his first world title bout as a professional boxer comes to an end.
The whole ring of boxing. Oh, he took a big left hand.
Just gotta stay there.
Those words marked the moment Davis declared himself the new WBO lightweight champion. Sitting across from the current title holder, Denys Berinchyk, Davis was firm about his prediction for the fight. He was confident it would end with a knockout. At 25 years old, Davis has been steadily rising through the lightweight ranks with a 12-0 record and growing star power. Winning the belt would cement his place in the boxing world, especially in the competitive lightweight division. This will be Davis's second time headlining a major event, and the fight will take place at the iconic Madison Square Garden.
Everybody remain in your seats.
It's a real blessing, man. I had a feeling this was going to happen ever since he called my name out after his last fight. I knew I was going to fight him for the world championship. I never thought it would be at Madison Square Garden, though. I'm thankful to Top Rank and ESPN for believing in me enough to bring a fight like this here. We could have fought anywhere, but they know I'm the future of Top Rank, and they know I'm the future of the sport. They wanted to make me the headliner for my second big fight here at Madison Square, Davis shared at Wednesday's pre-fight press conference. With both fighters undefeated and a title at stake, the pressure was already high for the upcoming fight. But Davis revealed an extra source of motivation. I want to address the fact that this guy came to America to give me bananas and watermelon with a note attached. It's unprofessional and I feel like it's racist. He just made this fight a lot more personal for me, Davis added.
Well, sure. They talked about the jab that Romero's using really effective.
That's how Keegan showed up to my room, and they was like, it's something here for you. And I wasn't there. My friend was there, and he was just asking what it was. The guy just kept insisting.
Davis shared a picture of a package and a note on his social media saying, "Y'all heard what I said. This man brought a box of bananas and a watermelon. He brought a box of bananas and a watermelon to America and delivered it to my room, and I took it as racist. So I've got something for you." Berinchyk, who is Ukrainian, responded on stage through a translator. He said, "I don't speak or write in English, but I saw his message in the media. It's strange to even talk about this. Some people with bad intentions are just looking for hype."
Bring it in. So my friend was like, "Say, fuck it, just bring it in." Like, he brought it in, and he don't open none of the stuff that I get. So I opened it, and there was a note.
Davis quickly responded, "It's fine that you all did it, but I'm going to whoop you for it. So just know, when Friday night comes, you'll see what happens to both of you." Davis has built a reputation for putting on entertaining press conferences, and Wednesday's was no different. At the press conference, Berinchyk said that while Davis would have his moment during the presser, the fight on Friday would be his. Davis wasn't having it, though. He fired back, saying, "Every time I fight, I bring an entertaining performance, whether it's the press conference, the weigh-ins, or the fight itself. This isn't a new act for the businessman. The only thing new is my haircut and this suit. That's it. But Friday night, you'll know exactly what I'm going to do." Davis, known as the businessman, is coming off a stunning second-round knockout of Gustavo Lemos in November at the Scope in Norfolk. Berinchyk, 36 years old with a 19-9-0 record, hasn't fought since claiming the WBO lightweight title in May of 2024.
Effective.
First on the box, and then I opened it, it was a box of bananas and watermelon. And I could tell how I was reading it. It wasn't nobody from America that wrote that, you know how to speak proper English.
With a win, Davis would become Norfolk's first boxing world champion since the legendary Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Though it was the eve of Valentine's Day, there was no love lost between Keyshawn Davis and Denys Berinchyk at the weigh-in. Davis appeared much more composed when he stepped onto the scales Thursday afternoon at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York, showing greater control over his emotions compared to the heated press conference the day before. On the other hand, Denys Berinchy's demeanor was quite different, showing more tension as they both prepared for the big fight.
Not only that, at the end of the message, it said businesswoman. He called me a businesswoman yesterday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that just put the icing on the cake.
Tempers flared once again after both fighters successfully made weight on Thursday afternoon for their lightweight title bout at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Davis, who was challenging for his first world title on Friday night, taunted the defending WBO lightweight champion Berinchyk by rubbing and tugging at the belt as it hung over Berinchy's shoulder during their stare-down after the weigh-in. At the weigh-in, while the undefeated champion, Berinchyk, stayed calm as they posed for photos, things took a turn when Davis stood in front of him to flex his muscles. Berinchyk then pushed Davis in the back, sending him off the slightly elevated stage. Davis, who managed to catch himself when one foot touched the floor, wasn't injured. He quickly hopped back onto the stage and went after Berinchyk, but security and others stepped in to separate them.
Romero able to get that hook frame.
Seats, please. Everybody remain in your seats.
After Berinchyk was escorted out of the room following the weigh-in, Davis spoke with Top Rank's Christina Poncher about his upcoming world title fight on Friday night at the theater. "It doesn't matter if I'm rattled or calm. He's getting knocked out in the first round tomorrow night," Davis said. "He can say whatever he wants. If I'm rattled, okay, I'm rattled. If I'm not, he's still going to get knocked out in the first round." Davis, 25, weighed in at 134.2 pounds.
As if you needed to be heated up or gassed up anymore.
Berinchyk walked off the stage after the confrontation and didn't give an interview to Top Rank's commentator Christina Poncher. Berinchyk, a Ukrainian fighter, is making the first defense of the title he won last May in a split decision against Emmanuel Navarrete. He weighed in at 134.6 pounds, while Davis, a rising star on the Top Rank roster, came in at 134.2 pounds. While Davis and Berinchyk have some differences to work through, they share several similarities. Both are undefeated, with Berinchyk at 19-0 and Davis at 12-0. Additionally, both men are Olympic silver medalists. Berinchyk earned his medal at the 2012 London Games, while Davis claimed his at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo.
Throwing, just moving forward. Davis slowly finds his mark while Romero doesn't.
I got pushed, racist slanders, all type of, they try to get me out my game. Damn. People that's not even here, people that don't got nothing to do with the fight, try to get me out my game. What's going on?
Davis from Norfolk, Virginia had a noticeable height advantage during their stare down. Standing 2 inches taller at 5'9", there was less tension between the other fighters on the card. Veto Melnick Jr., 21 years old, weighed in at 159.5 pounds for their 10-round co-featured bout. The 22-year-old Melnick from nearby Roseland, New Jersey, is aiming for his 12th straight victory. Meanwhile, the 34-year-old Coyle from Derry, Northern Ireland, is making his debut in New York.
Yo, but what about Keyshawn saying that the Tank is target practice? You heard that audio?
I like how Keyshawn, he's clout chasing. Bring up Tank's name, sell your fight, get the most views on.
Keyshawn Davis is a fighter who isn't afraid to make bold statements ahead of his February 14th fight. He's made it clear that he plans to knock out Berinchyk in the first round. For Keyshawn, it's not just about winning. It's about sending a message to the entire boxing world, especially to Gervonta Davis, whom he has openly challenged for a unification fight. The undefeated 12-0 fighter, nicknamed the Businessman, has been vocal about wanting to face Tank next if he comes out victorious on Friday night. However, he's also expressed doubts about whether Tank has the courage to step into the ring with him.
I'm not trying to make mistakes. Last fight, he was in, he injured his left hand, Davis, but he's...
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis. I would not Tank short out. Tank is a great fighter. Hats off to Tank. I'm not even about to just do all that. Like, Tank is a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that he got the power, he got the skill and ability, he's patient, you know what I'm saying? But I know who I...
Keyshawn's confidence is hard to miss, but some might say his attitude is veering into arrogance. His bold prediction of a first-round knockout against Berinchyk, a seasoned and respected fighter, has sparked criticism, with many calling it over the top. Keyshawn is no stranger to such backlash. Throughout his career, he's presented himself as a rising star, someone who believes his charisma and talent make him a powerful force in the lightweight division. However, his claims of being a major star in the sport still remain unproven. Most of his fan base is still concentrated in his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia, and hasn't yet reached the widespread popularity of other fighters.
You got a chance to work with Gervonta out here. What was that experience like? Anything you could share?
The experience was great, and what's crazy about that is this time around, it was like, all right, we older now. There's more skills involved. It's like, all right, now let's see how it's going to go this time.
What stands out is how Keyshawn talks about his potential fight with Tank Davis. To him, it's not a matter of if, but when. He sees it as an inevitable showdown between two big personalities that would create huge buzz in the boxing world. Keyshawn even went as far as to say that promoting the fight would be easy because it practically markets itself. Two undefeated fighters, Davis versus Keyshawn, with different styles and attitudes. Keyshawn believes that this fight wouldn't just showcase his talents, but also elevate his status to that of Tank Davis, who is widely considered one of boxing's biggest stars.
You can see the focus in counterpunch. He might want to jab his way over.
Tank said he's now the new face of boxing. What do you think?
For sure, he's the face of boxing. I don't have no problem with saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves everything that's coming to him. He's the face of boxing for sure.
And he's that guy. You talked about how good Shakur is. Do you think people sleep on Tank's skills? Because they just see him as a knockout artist?
Who sleep on Tank's skills? Nah, nobody sleep on Tank. Like,
the situation may not be as simple as Keyshawn thinks. Tank Davis, with a record of 30-0 and a reputation as a powerful puncher, has little reason to entertain a fight with Keyshawn right now. Tank has plenty of top contenders already gunning for a shot, many of whom offer more credibility and financial rewards than Keyshawn does. It's no secret that Tank's name carries a lot of weight in boxing, and any fight with him draws massive attention. Keyshawn, on the other hand, is still trying to prove himself at the highest level, making his constant challenges feel a bit premature to some. Despite this, Keyshawn remains relentless. He's gone out of his way to provoke Tank, even questioning his masculinity and character. Keyshawn's comments about Tank having a feminine way about him and his claim that Tank doesn't have the guts to face him are clearly meant to stir up a reaction. Whether this strategy will work in the long run is still unclear, but one thing is obvious. Keyshawn is determined to get under Tank Davis's skin. His comments show that he's not only eager to be in the spotlight, but also enjoys stirring up drama to keep his name in the news. Interestingly, Keyshawn's ambitions go beyond just a fight with Tank. If the unification match doesn't happen, he's already turned his attention to Isaac Pitbull Cruz, a former WBA lightweight title challenger known for his aggressive fighting style. Keyshawn sees a potential fight with Cruz as another chance to make a statement, one that could capture fans' attention and bring big financial rewards to both fighters. True to form, Keyshawn has framed this potential matchup as a battle of cultures, with two stars from different fan bases coming together for an intense, high-stakes showdown.
Oh, good body shot. Throw that right.
And as though that you sparred him, you said when you get in there, you can feel a person's energy. We've had plenty of trainers tell us that Tank is a great boxer. Not just this puncher that we see, he just hasn't, quote unquote, had to show it. I feel like you've seen some of that in the Isaac Cruz fight, especially with the one hand. He had to show.
Not everyone is buying into Keyshawn's confidence. Some critics believe he's been carefully guided by his promoter, Top Rank, who has made sure he avoids risky matchups that could harm his career. A major example of this is his refusal to fight Andy Cruz, the 2020 Olympic gold medalist, who defeated Keyshawn 4 times during their amateur careers. Keyshawn has brushed off Cruz as irrelevant, claiming that Cruz doesn't have a big fan base and isn't on his level. However, many see this as an excuse to avoid a fight that could expose Keyshawn's weaknesses. Cruz, who has looked strong in his early professional career, presents a real challenge, and Keyshawn's reluctance to face him has led to accusations of fear and opportunism.
Davis, a little short. Well, we've talked about his maturity as a fighter.
Tank's skill is phenomenal, but I just feel like he's offense first. I feel like he's offense first, or I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, but he's very, 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 very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying?
Keyshawn's critics have been quick to point out his performances against lower-level opponents, suggesting that he hasn't quite lived up to the hype. Fights with Miguel Maduo and Nahir Albright, for example, have been highlighted as proof that Keyshawn still has a lot to prove before he can be considered on the same level as top fighters like Tank Davis. While his talent is undeniable, his tendency to talk big without backing it up in the ring has made him a polarizing figure in the sport. In many ways, Keyshawn's approach mirrors that of Edgar Banga, another fighter who was heavily promoted by Top Rank before eventually parting ways with the company. Banga was initially built up as a knockout artist early in his career, but as the level of competition increased, his weaknesses became more evident. Similarly, Keyshawn's loud claims and selective matchmaking have led some to view him as a manufactured star rather than a true contender. Keyshawn's obsession with Tank Davis seems to go beyond just professional ambition. His comments suggest a personal dislike for Tank, accusing him of being unpredictable and insincere. At the same time, Keyshawn is quick to emphasize that he doesn't need Tank to define his career. He insists that he is forging his own path and building his own brand, regardless of whether the fight with Tank ever happens. However, his constant references to Tank tell a different story. One of a fighter who knows that a win over someone of Tank's caliber could change his life forever. For now, Keyshawn is focused on his upcoming fight with Baroni, but it's clear that his eyes are already set on what comes next. Whether it's Tank Davis, Pitbull Cruz, or another big-name opponent, Keyshawn seems determined to position himself as a major player in the lightweight division. The big question remains: can he back up his bold claims with real action? His performance on February 14th will give us some answers, but until then, his confident statements will continue to spark debates among fans. So, what do you think? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.